How's it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. If you cannot tell, I'm actually not in Key West. I'm in the Bahamas. It's our last day. We've been sailing around with my good friend Stephanie on C'est La Vie for a week. And I'd had this grand plan of all these episodes I was gonna make, and quite honestly, just really lost track of time and really unplugged. It was nice to kind of have a change of pace. It sounds silly coming from paradise to go to paradise, but really unplugged with Madeleine, spent some time with her, and I did do a little bit of filming. There's some nice dives in here I'll narrate, and we cooked a big, we call them spider crabs. I think they're called channel clinging crabs here is what they said, but there's no storyline to this is the point of my rambling here, but I did want to share them because we did have such an amazing time. Big thanks to Steph for having us aboard and showing us a good one. But check them out. Hope you guys like them. I'll see you on the next one. Don't judge me on this. Like I said, it's going to be messy. No storyline. Check it out. Welcome back, guys and girls. Again, there's no storyline to this. I used the term unplugged again, but I really unplugged and I kind of just lost all motivation. I really wanted to spend some time with Madeleine, which I did, so it was an amazing trip. But we did get some diving in, and I told Steph from the beginning, I really didn't want a hardcore diving trip. Essentially just wanted to harvest enough fish to eat each day. And I did want to do some deeper stuff, so she found us a deeper wreck that she has. There's some cuberas and muttons swimming around. When we first got to this wreck, there was about a 60, 70 pound cubera. And it kind of took off, so there's a bunch of smaller ones swimming around. And I take a swing and a miss. I don't often hunt with a pole spear or a sling. I really do enjoy it when I do it, but I don't do it very often. So this was me kind of getting back into the groove. Honestly, I try to shoot that fish in the tail because I hate fighting them. I believe this was 75 feet to the bottom. But the visibility in the Bahamas is absolutely unbelievable. Steph is behind me. I can't see her. I'm not diving without a safety, I promise. So I did a few more drops. There was quite a few fish here. Yeah, there was a lot of fish, so we kept dropping. It was something I learned is that the water is crazy, crazy clear over there in most places. And quite frankly, the fish just see it coming. I saw so many big cuberas that I couldn't get within 150 feet of. A lot of big black groupers off the roll-off. You'd see them at 100 and they just roll down to 140, and it was kind of pointless. But coming down, doing nice big grunts here. Dog snapper gets just enough curious, and after that miss, I'm not going to miss again. I'm going mid-body. I don't care. At this point, it was late in the afternoon, and I don't think we had enough to feed everybody. And you'll see here in a second, I'm kind of letting go of the pole spear, but over there in the Bahamas they use these things called, well, primitively anywhere, they use these things called belt reels. And it's an alternative to having a float line, which it's very nice because you don't have to fight the fish all the way up. Steph kind of gave me a hand too. Beautiful dog snapper. I'll take these any day. My last episode had a lot of dog snappers in them, and this one was actually pretty big, probably a little over 10 pounds. Brain and bleed as always for the best quality. I think I'd rather eat that than a cubera anyways.
Nice. Good job, dude.
He couldn't resist the grunt, I guess.
Yeah.
So you can actually see some chunks sinking there. Will was actually on the boat cleaning up some of the lobsters from the day, so I started to chunk some of those lobster heads to try and get some cuberas to come in. Some more people jumped in to kind of check out what was going on because we were shooting fish. They wanted to see some other people on the boat. Nice comfortable drop. I was really trying to locate that cubera. There was a big chunk over here that had a nice cave in it, but I searched this thing through and through and I could not figure out where he went. Have a nice mutton come in. Kind of curious. A little more patient on this one. I was trying to get a better shot and not ruin the fillet. Again, I don't pole spear a lot. This kind of reignited the fire. I may do some more pole spearing here in Key West. It was really fun. It's very challenging. I love the primitive feel and how close to the fish you have to get. It's a nice twist on things. And that belt reel comes in clutch. I mean, if you're hunting deep over there, you're really gambling not using a belt reel or a float line. But then again, it's so clear you could probably just watch the fish anyways. So this is actually a good dive to practice holding your breath on. This one was pretty long. This was towards the beginning of the trip. On our crossing over, we stopped. I can't remember which island it was. We stopped somewhere, and the water wasn't very clean. From what I hear, it's very strange for the Bahamas. The visibility was more of Gulf of Mexico water. It was pretty strange to see, but these nice big cracks. This spot was incredible. We didn't see a ton of fish, but quite frankly, I think it was because there were so many places to hide. And at this point, we're just trying to get something in the boat so we have lunch. Nice big schoolmaster comes in. We don't get them this big, nearly this big in Key West. And I was going to pass on them because I was being picky, and then I just kind of talked myself into it, but because of how big it was. Some people say they get ciguatera after a certain point. Some people say they don't. Just one of those things. So I slowed that clip down, and I actually hit that fish perfect, but the power from the pole spear kept going through, and the thicker part broke through his head. So I'm down here trying to reload. Then I'm getting lazy and I'm trying to just poke him. And yeah, it was a pretty funny dive. I really didn't want to lose that fish because I knew he was going to die. Hit him with a pretty solid brain shot, and with the water being so murky, there was a good chance of losing him. But luckily, I ended up getting this fish. This is by far my biggest schoolmaster. We don't get him nearly this big in Key West. This is one of the Bahamian lobster habitats we found. Look at that, unbelievable. That was earlier in the trip. To be quite honest, I find lobstering fairly boring, but I'll show you guys a couple clips. I really wanted to catch one big Bahamian lobster by hand, and this was a good chance. We had snorkeled up into the shallows one day, and we're trying to find some lobsters for lobster rolls. And you'll watch me dive down, and I'm not actually approaching the lobster yet. I'm looking behind him to see what I'm working with. Does he have a cave that he's going to go back into and I can't reach him? Does he have an exit? Which he actually had an exit, and a lot of times I'll do this with fish as well. Say I'm lining up a grouper, or I'm trying to scout out a grouper's hole that he swam into. So a lot of times I'll swim to the backside first and see whether or not they have a place that they can take off without me knowing. I've had that happen several times. Actually happened with a yellowfin grouper on this trip. So I'm trying to be a hero and catch this thing by hand, which probably wasn't the best idea, but he was very smart. Looked like he had been dealt with before, or messed with before, and he went straight back. And I'm real mellow with it. You never grab the antennas because the antennas are always going to break. So I'm kind of going back and forth. You can almost hear him grunt there for a second. I had his knuckle just briefly. And to save you the pain, I went back and forth 9 or 10 times trying to get a hold of this thing, and finally snuck up fast enough. I had to turn upside down and get my shoulder all the way in there, and I got a hold of his knuckles. Like I said, I just wanted to do this just one time, and his antennas actually broke on the way out. They got pinched, but very nice Bahamian lobster.
Well, victory.
And because we weren't keeping them in a live well, you know me, I'm kind of a hippie. Will actually taught me the correct way to dispatch these. Kind of up through the mouth, and you just twist. Apparently there's a heart or a brain up there. One of the most requested things in my videos lately has been Madeleine, so there's your daily dose of Madeleine. Or weekly, rather. Another lobster, and I don't know why. I enjoy catching them by hand. I mean, it's probably not the most ideal, and over there you can spear them. To be honest, it felt a little morally wrong. I've been so used to catching lobsters my entire life by tickle stick and net and noose and all that. So I caught a few by hand. And quite frankly, the one I did try to shoot, I didn't miss. I hit him, but I just didn't load the pole spear enough, and it was kind of a fail.
Oh, he's bigger than I thought he was. He's legal. You think it?
Pretty amazing. You got the chef taking your catch straight from you and cooking it for lunch. Oh, this is my fail. So I tried to spear it. I didn't load the gun nearly enough. I wasn't sure how much power you actually needed to penetrate. So I just went with the old manhandle method here again. And again, never grab the antennas. I prefer not to do this because I'm kind of disrupting a lot. And I don't know, but it works just the same. And here is one I actually did spear, but that's all I got, guys. Again, sorry for the messy episode. Don't judge me on it. I actually did catch a giant spider crab over there that we do a nice recipe with, so that'll be up maybe in the middle of the week, but I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.